Welcome everyone. Welcome to this session on day 3 of Joti for KISC. KISC Joti. KISC Joti, absolutely. It's fantastic. We've got people joining the room right now, which is really, really good. We're just going to wait a little bit longer as people are clicking that link from their emails and are joining in. This session is called Citizens of the World. And we have, well, of course, people from all around the world joining in for this session. My name is Delshad. I am one of the external staff members at KISC International Scout Centre, and I come from Australia. My accent didn't quite give me away. While you're getting ready, could I please ask that you have a pencil, a ruler, and a piece of paper ready? These are the things that you will need for this session. And can I just ask that everyone, hopefully you can see a lovely green screen that says Citizens of the World. Fingers crossed, everything is going good. We've got 9 people in so far. Fantastic. Kaya Wanju. As I'm streaming from Australia, a continent made up of hundreds of different First Nations countries, I wish to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land of which I'm streaming from, the Whadjuk Butja, or the Whadjuk land of the Noongar people, and pay my respect to their elders past, present, and emerging. Throughout KISC Joti, we aim to protect everyone. You can request a listening ear at our website, kiscjoti.info. Joining us today, we have Gaspar and Maru, who are joining us from the centre to help with our session, and it's great to have them with us. I want to ask a question to start us off with, please. What is a citizen of the world to you? What does it mean to be a citizen of the world? Can I ask, please, to write in the chat box your name, where you're from, what country, and what it means to be a citizen of the world? I'd love to see what you guys have got to share. Ali joins us from Pakistan. Welcome, Ali. Marcos from Brazil. Marcos and Maria. Kim from the Philippines as well. Fantastic. It's great that you put your names, but tell us about you. Tell us what a citizen of the world means to you. At KISC, we have people from all across the world, scouts who come to share in this spirit of brotherhood, this spirit of the Permanent Mini Jamboree. And to do that, well, we're going to talk about that a little bit soon. I don't want to give away too much just yet, but well, people being a little bit quiet, you can post. I'd love to hear what you think it means to be a citizen of the world. I can see people being a bit shy. It's okay. There is no wrong answer. I would just like to see what you think a citizen of the world means for you. While you're thinking of that, I would like to just show you this little icon. I'm going to ask, it's about this. Today, we're going to be learning about the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, also known as the SDGs, or the Global Goals. And we're going to talk a little bit about what they mean for the world. Has anyone seen these before or seen these logos before? Fantastic. Thank you. We've got some replies. Rosalind from Great Britain. You're from Gotham Scouts. Being a citizen of the world is understanding and exploring other cultures. Fantastic. Yes. Marcos from Brazil. It transcends geography or political borders, being part of something bigger. And Natasha, I'm sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. My apologies. Yes, you have seen these logos before. Fantastic. This little wheel of colors, these 17 colors, hopefully you've seen them in World Scouting already, because over the next few years, we're going to see them more and more as time goes by. To explain what it is, I'm just going to share with you this short little video. I'm just going to switch over here.
We only have one planet. It's organized into almost 200 countries, which are home to 7.5 billion people, living and working and playing and eating and sleeping and arguing too. Humans argue a lot.
Isn't there anything we can do to try and help work things out?
Actually, there's this thing called the United Nations. It was created way back in 1945 after the world had been through 2 really terrible wars. The United Nations, also known as the UN, was created to try to prevent wars from happening and to help countries get along.
How do they do that?
By trying to make sure everyone has what they need to live a good life. Food, shelter, medicine, a clean environment, dignity, and safety.
So the UN is kind of like a club.
Kind of, but a really huge club. It's an organization and almost every country is a member, 193 in total.
Is there a secret handshake?
No, but countries do have to pay to join.
Huh. So how does the UN actually work?
Well, all decisions are made by vote, including who the leader of the UN will be. That person is called the Secretary General. The Secretary General works with all the other UN members to identify problems and work towards peaceful solutions. Their job is to speak for all the people of the world, ensuring they come first no matter what decision is being made, and to always act for peace.
Hooray! And what about kids? Does the UN have anything to do with us?
Yes, in a big way. The United Nations created a document called the UN Convention on the Rights of the Child. It outlines things all children should have or be able to do.
What things are those?
Like every kid has the right to be safe, to learn, and to play.
Wow, the UN's pretty cool and important.
You can think of the UN like the world's referee, here to make sure problems and arguments are dealt with properly and peacefully. And while the UN still has a long way to go towards fairly achieving its goals, members of the UN will continue to try and work together.
With or without the secret handshake.
So I hope that was something that you learned new. What did you learn about the United Nations? Can I ask, if you learned something new from that, share it in the box. While some people are putting those comments in, I'm just going to read some more comments that people have added. Kira from Italy. I feel like it is about being themselves, each with their own traditions, and also being open to others to share and explain their own traditions, but also staying curious and respectful when knowing others and what is special of them. Kim from the Philippines says, for me, citizen of the world is being a friend to all, to do good, to protect the environment, and to prevent the effects of global warming. Sounds very much like being a scout. It's a good thing. So to ask you, what did you learn? After 1945, after the Second World War, to prevent future wars, they created a group called the United Nations to promote peace. And yes, all decisions are made by vote, identifying problems and coming up with peaceful solutions and to speak for the people of the world. So when the world was in ruins, the 51 countries came together in San Francisco in 1945, San Francisco in the USA, to agree on a positive way forward. And they came up with a document called the Charter. This created the organization that today we know as the United Nations. Over 75 years later, the UN is maintaining international peace and security. It's tasked to promote development and giving humanitarian assistance to those in need. It upholds international law, protecting human rights and promoting democracy. And now, nations are working together to fight climate change. The UN is helping to build a better world than its founders envisioned 75 years ago. Does anyone know where the headquarters of the United Nations are? You might get a bit of a hint looking at that photo in the bottom right corner. That is the headquarters. Ooh. Having a few different ideas? The headquarters. There are some regional offices. The headquarters of the United Nations are in New York City. This includes the General Assembly, where every member is represented, and the Security Council. The International Court of Justice is not in New York, it's in The Hague in the Netherlands. The United Nations also has 3 subsidiary regional offices, smaller ones. They were opened in Geneva, so Geneva has one, Switzerland, in 1946, Vienna, Austria in 1980, and Nairobi, Kenya in 1996. And the United Nations has, well, 6 official languages. Does anyone know what they are? The United Nations has 6 official languages. World Scouting has 5. And there is some similarity there. Anyone know what some of those international languages are? These official languages of the United Nations. Ooh. Ray, France. France being the country, but the language French. Got Mandarin. Any other guesses of what some of the 6 official languages are? We're having some more guesses. You guys are hot on the money today. Absolutely. So the 6 official languages of the United Nations are Russian, Mandarin, sometimes known as Chinese, yes, Spanish, French, English, and the last one is Arabic. Fantastic. Well done, Marcos. Well done. That was really, really good. So with those 6 international languages having that global reach for the United Nations, the UN works to maintain international peace and security, to protect human rights, to deliver humanitarian aid, and to promote sustainable development and uphold international law. To accomplish this mission, the United Nations created Agenda 2030 for Sustainable Development. This action plan is to stop poverty, to maintain a sustainable environment for everyone, and economic growth, ensuring that no one is left behind. These are the SDGs. 17 siblings. Each one has about 10 targets, making 169 targets in total. Connected with each other, they cover 3 aspects of sustainable development: economic growth, social inclusion, and environmental protection. To achieve these sustainable development goals, the UN built on their previous strategy, the Millennium Development Goals. And if you've looked at Messengers of Peace or the Scouts of the World Award, you might have heard of these before. I'm curious, some of you may have seen those before. But enough of me talking. Let's see if we can find out a bit more about this. I'm going to share this clip with you.
Stockholm Resilience Center suggested organizing the SDGs into 3 layers. The environment as the foundation, supporting society, which supports the economy. This is like the triple bottom line, or the 3 pillars of sustainability that I presented in another video. I put a link in the description below. Essentially, sustainability is about meeting human needs within ecological constraints, and the economy is a strategy to make money while achieving sustainability. There are 4 goals about the environment: clean water, climate action, life on land, and life below water. 8 goals are about society: no poverty, zero hunger, good health and well-being, quality education, gender equality, affordable and clean energy, sustainable cities and communities, and peace, justice, and strong institutions. And these 4 goals are about the economy: decent work and economic growth, industry, innovation and infrastructure, reduced inequalities, responsible consumption and production. They call this representation the SDG wedding cake. In other words, we can't achieve decent economic growth or even food security without first taking care of our oceans, as was demonstrated in Newfoundland during the collapse of the Atlantic cod fisheries in the 1990s. And, to use the more recent example of the coronavirus crisis, we can't have everybody in good health and achieve no poverty without taking care first of our land, forests, and our greenhouse gas emissions. My video on coronavirus explains this in more details.
So we have these 3 pillars, the 3 levels of the wedding cake. Looking at these icons, what does sustainable development mean to you? Can you let us know in the comments section, please? Post in the web chat now what sustainable development means for you. Everyone in this room right now comes from different countries, different continents all around the world. It means the experiences that we have give us a different perspective or a different way of seeing the world. So I'm very curious to see what sustainable development means to you. Marcos, a set of goals to a better world. Yeah. Actions that we can work towards. Absolutely. Kim, food security. Yes, food security is extremely important to make sure that everyone can live, not only live well, but live healthily. And that's very, very important. At KISC, we believe that sustainable development is the development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. We're all interlinked together, which is why we have to work together. So, with these 17 goals, let's have a see if we can guess which ones might belong to what kind of targets. So here is for your next challenge. We are going to together swim for the SDGs. To do this, we're going to have some pictures and we're going to work as a team because we are here to work together. So to do this, in a moment, there's going to appear a picture on the screen and there'll be three options of sustainable development goals. Comment which you think is the correct answer, and I'll go with the most popular vote. Let's go. So here's a picture of some young girls looking around a book on a carpet in a room. Is this sustainable goal SDG number 4, quality education? Is it number 7, affordable and clean energy? Or is it number 10, reduced inequalities? Let's see which one you think. We're having some votes coming in. Fantastic. Number 4, people are pretty strongly. Okay, let's give number 4 a go. Let's see if you're right. Yes, excellent. The next one, is this 13, climate action, 14, life below water, or 12, responsible consumption and production? Ooh, 14, 14, 12, 12. It's a tie between 14 and 12. Oh, no, 12 is ahead. Oh, it's very close. Very close. I think 14 may have the slight. Yes, 14. This one, number 8, decent work and economic growth, gender equality, or sustainable cities and communities. Is it 8, 5, or 11? We're jumping to 8. Let's have a look. Is it 8? It is 8. Well done. Your next one. Number 6, clean water and sanitation. Number 15, life on land. Or 16, peace, justice, and strong institutions. You really have to look at what the people in the photograph are doing for the clue here. And there's a lot of votes for 16. Let's see if you're right. Yes, 16 was the answer. Fantastic. Is this quality education, life on land, or climate action? 4, 15, or 13? We're jumping in. We've got a lot of people think 13. Let's see, 13. Yes. We're getting there. Next one. 4, 6, or 7? You guys are superstars at this. This is fantastic. And it's a great way to see how we have all of these goals all around the world. Excellent. Nearly there. 1, 12, or 4? $17, 3, or 8? Thinking 3, sure. It's fantastic that people can see these pictures and straight away know what you're thinking your answer is. You guys are super scouts. This is amazing. Excellent. I think this might be the last one. Let's see if we can do it. Fantastic. That was really, really well done. Excellent. So now we've had a chance to do an activity together. We're going to go a little bit further. So for this next part, you're going to need a piece of paper, maybe a ruler to help, and a pencil or a pen. Can you please, once you've got those items, draw a line, a long line. And in the middle of that line, I'll show you. I've drawn a long line across my piece of paper. In the middle, I put a mark and I put the number 0. Can you do that, please? Yep. Right. The next thing you're going to do, on the right side, you're going to put another mark and put 10. So we've got our line, 0, and we've got 10. Now we're going to do mark lines all the way from 0 to 10 and put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Mine's spread out pretty badly, actually. Can you see that? Hopefully well. So we've got 0 to 10 on one side of the line. Has everyone done that so far? The next thing we're going to do is the opposite on the other side. So we went from 0 to 10. On the other side of the page, I'm now going to put a negative 10. And from 0 to negative 10, I'm going to go negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, all the way to negative 10. Could you do that as well, please? Once we've all got this, we can then do our game together. But everyone needs their own sheet, otherwise it's a bit hard. So 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5, negative 6, negative 7, negative 8, negative 9. Hopefully you've now got a page that looks like this, where you've got 10 at one end, going down, counting down 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5, negative 6, negative 7, negative 8, negative 9, and the last number is negative 10. Has everyone got that? Once you've done it, could you post a comment just to say done in the comments, just so I can see that people are catching up and not going too fast? Ray, George, fantastic. Thank you. Jen, excellent. All right. So while some people are just doing that, I'm going to explain what's going to happen. I'm going to read out 10 sentences. And we're going to start with our finger on the 0. If you agree with a sentence, I would like you to move yourself up 1. So you add 1 number. If you disagree or you don't do this, I want you to go down. And what's going to happen is after the 10, you're going to give yourself a score. You don't have to share the score. It can be completely private. That's okay. But you can use this to score yourself on how sustainable you are or how environmentally friendly you are. At KISC, we really encourage our guests to use 1 towel and really dry your hands with it, not taking 3 or 4 towels and using it a little bit. It's not a good use of what we have. We're very diligent at KISC with having lots of different recycle bins of different types of materials and plastics. And it helps to ensure that we're doing our bit for the environment. So, quick reminder for this, I'm about to give out some sentences. What you can do is you can start with your finger on the 0. If you agree with it, you're going to move up 1. If you disagree, you're going to move down 1. Are you ready? Yes? Hope you are. Right. Here's your first sentence. Finger on your 0, please. First sentence. I always turn off the tap when I'm brushing my teeth. If you do that, move your finger up to 1 now. If you disagree, you don't turn off the tap when you brush your teeth, move your finger down to -1. With me? Everyone good? All right. So the first one was, I always turn off the tap when I'm brushing my teeth. We're going to keep going. Number 2. I always use my reusable water bottle. I always use my reusable water bottle. Number 3. I try to take showers that are no longer than 5 minutes. I try to take showers that are no longer than 5 minutes. Number 4, I never take a plastic bag from a shop. I always bring my reusable bag with me instead. I'll say it again. Number 4, I never take a plastic bag from a shop. I bring my reusable bag with me instead. Number 5, I always turn off chargers and electronic devices when I'm finished using them. I always turn off chargers and electronic devices when I am finished using them. Number 6, I cycle or walk to school most of the time. I cycle or walk to school or work most of the time. Number 7, I make sure that everyone in my house recycles properly. I make sure that everyone in my house recycles properly. Number 8, I don't buy things if they have too much packaging. I don't buy things if they have too much packaging. Number 9, I've been to a protest to support the environment. I've been to a protest to support the environment. And number 10, I shop for new clothes in secondhand shops and try not to buy clothes from disposable fast fashion shops. Number 10, I shop for new clothes in secondhand shops and try not to buy clothes from disposable fast fashion shops. How did you go? If you feel comfortable, share us your score. My score was only a 4. I can do a lot better. I know I can do a lot better. Kim, 9, marvelous. You are fantastic what you're doing. Raphael, 4, same. I scored a 4. KISC, I do apologize for the names I'm mispronouncing. I am very sorry. A 4, a 6, a 9, a 5, a 6. I should be learning from you guys. You guys should be running the session. You know this. This is fantastic. 7, excellent. Wonderful. So, Scouts for SDGs. How can we get involved as Scouts? We can include service hours. Now, some people might be wondering, with 17 goals, there's so much to do. Well, there is you can call it the lazy person's guide to saving the world. And this lovely website on un.org shows some ideas on how you can start from level 1, being a sofa superstar, all the way up so you can be an exceptional employee. These are things that you can do if you want to try and help change our world to become more sustainable. Now, I don't know if you've heard about the story of the hummingbird. It's one of my favorite stories. I like to share it with you guys. The story is originally from Professor Maffei. And the story goes like this. The story of the hummingbird is about this huge forest being consumed by a fire. All the animals in the forest come out and they're transfixed as they watch the forest burning, and they feel very overwhelmed, very powerless, except this little hummingbird. It says, I'm going to do something about the fire. So it flies to the nearest stream and takes a drop of water. It puts it on the fire and it goes up and down as fast as it can. In the meantime, all the other animals, much bigger animals like the elephant with a big trunk that could bring much more water, they're standing there helpless. And they are saying to the hummingbird, what do you think you can do? You are too small. This fire is too big. Your wings are too little and your beak is so small that you can only bring a small drop of water at a time. But as they continue to discourage it, the hummingbird turns to them and without wasting any time, it tells them, I am doing the best I can. And that to me is what we should be about as Scouts. We should always be like the hummingbird. I may be small and insignificant, and I certainly don't want to be like the animals watching the planet go down the drain. I will be a hummingbird. I will do the best that I can. As we've shown you in this workshop, there are a lot of things that we are already doing in our everyday lives as individuals and as citizens, and also in our scout groups or other collective organizations. To keep on this African inspiration, there is an African proverb that says, alone we go faster, together we go further. Or, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. However, today, with the different safety measures in place with COVID-19, as the world is changing, anything our groups or scout associations do can be difficult to organize. And yes, we are limited as what we can do as individuals, yet we can still try our best. And events like KISC JOTI show us that it is still possible to do things as a group. And this is why I would like to give ourselves, me included, a group challenge. Through community service projects and local actions, millions of young people are taking a contribution and they're making a challenge for themselves towards peace and sustainability. And we do a lot of things in our lives every day without realizing. Share, don't just like. If you see an interesting social media post about women's rights or climate change, share it so folks in your network can see it too. Report online bullies. If you notice someone who is being harassed on a message board or in a chat room, flag that person. Air dry. You let your hair dry and your clothes dry naturally instead of running a machine. If you want to wash your clothes, make sure that you're doing a full load of wash. You're not just doing a couple of clothes. Compost. Composting food scraps can reduce climate impact while recycling nutrients. Shop local. Support your neighborhood businesses by keeping local people employed and helping to prevent trucks from driving far distances. Donate what you don't use. Local charities will use your gently used clothes, books, and furniture for a new life, and someone else will love them just as you have. And take advantage of your right to elect leaders in your country and your local community. Some of these you can do more with the Earth Tribe Challenge. And if you go to scout.org, you can find out more. Either physically or online, you can participate in these challenges. So, your challenge, what I'm challenging you to do from joining this session, you can choose the SDG goal that motivates you the most, or a few if you can't just choose one, and commit ourselves to doing something new in the collective participation of reaching the Sustainable Development Goals by 2030. And keep the momentum that we've created today by sharing our achievements with each other. A lot of ideas to do with what we've mentioned today in the workshop can help work towards these goals. And you can find out ideas with the 17 Days Challenge from the SDGs created by the Irish Scout Association. And there are top tips of activities that you can do, which if you come and visit us at KISC, there's a juicinator, and that's an amazing activity. I'm not going to get into that too much just yet. If you're interested in taking part of the challenge, you can share on the KISC Facebook page or in the reflection part of this session. Gaspar has just posted the link for this badge in the chat. You can use that and put down what you're going to do as your challenge. And remember, maybe it's just as small as one drop of water. Maybe it's something as big as an elephant trunk. It does not matter as long as you feel comfortable knowing right now that you have done the best you can, given your energy levels, your situation, your family pressure, and more. Now, these Sustainable Development Goals, well, they are, of course, created by the United Nations. But you might be wondering, what are these organizations? Because there are specialized agencies, international, independent organizations. Does anyone know what some of these are? They work from the United Nations to implement projects or to serve as organizations that set international standards. Anyone know what some of the ones I'm talking about are? The World Wildlife Fund are Ray, really great suggestion. Not actually run by the United Nations. They are a private organization, but they are doing some marvelous work around the world. Jen, UNICEF. I'm going to be talking about them fairly soon. So the ones I'm looking at are UNESCO, the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization. And there's a special badge you can do through them called Patrimonito. That's the Scouts of the World Award. Really, really good badge. And the other one I was thinking of was the World Health Organization. The funds and the programs of the United Nations, initiatives aimed at specific problems around our world, unlike the specialized agencies, are not fully autonomous, and all contributions are voluntary, so the money paid in is what countries choose to do. But much of the UN's better known work is by them. Two of the best known ones are the United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, which Jen pointed out earlier, and the World Food Program. Yes, fantastic. There are, of course, many, many others. Friends, thank you for participating. The QR code will access you to the reflection for this session, so you can earn the digital badge, or as Gaspar has posted it, you can click on the link, kiscjoti.info/achieve, and the link is just there. In 24 minutes, the next session is going to start, Dialogue for Peace. This session is being run both in English with live translations into French. So if you have some friends who are interested in Dialogue for Peace and how they can be involved, how you can be involved in having conversations with our friends, our family, our Scouting members, and other people in our communities to help bring people together, this session would be fantastic. And I strongly encourage you, if you haven't yet, please go and register. It is a really, really good session. You will need to register because there'll be a special link for that one. If there are any last questions, please post them in the chat now. Otherwise, we can wrap up this session. It has been fantastic to have you. Thank you for joining us. It has been an absolute pleasure. Just going to give a couple more minutes in case there are any last questions, but then after that, we will close this session to give everyone time to get ready for the next one, Dialogue for Peace. No? That's okay. Look, thank you so much for joining us. We hope to see you in the next session, and we hope to see you at KISC, at the center, the home of the Permanent Mini Jamboree someday. It is an amazing place, but take care. Bye for now, and have an amazing Joti.